This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
You're listening to the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast. And now, here's your host, Lisa Rangel.
Hello and welcome. Welcome to the 35th episode of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast. I'm Lisa Rangel, host of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast and founder of Chameleon Resumes. We are an executive resume writing, LinkedIn profile development, and job search consultancy firm that helps executives, professionals, and high potential leaders land their next role faster. And on today's podcast, we're going to discuss what steps you can take to negotiate an above average pay raise and maximize your salary. Understanding how to ask for a raise and negotiate a salary increase is a professional skill set, and everyone needs to master on how to do this. You cannot depend on your company to just give you money because you're doing a great job. When you ask for a raise, there are many things that you can do ahead of time to increase your odds of landing that above average salary increase that you want and that you worked really hard for. Studies by management consulting companies show that the average salary increase will hover around a 3% raise. And I find that using the salary negotiation tactics that I'm going to discuss in the next few minutes can optimize your pay and maximize your raise so you can get anywhere from 5 to 20% pay raises regularly. We've seen it happen many, many times with our clients. We've even had clients get 50% raises. So we know these 13 steps work that I'm going to outline for you in the next few minutes when they're done right. So first, you have to prove yourself before you ask for a raise. Many times employees ask for a raise, but they haven't proved their value to the firm yet. Sometimes there's an entitlement. Well, I've been here for a year. I've been here for 2 years. I should get a raise. It's like, no, that's not how it works. You have to view your potential raise as an investment made by the organization and that the company is looking to see what their return on their investment, your raise, will be made. They want to know that they're getting an ROI in giving you that raise. So place yourself in visible positions and promote yourself with your achievements to ensure that decision makers know your value and are willing to pay for it in the form of an above average raise. Second, you want to volunteer for projects that are critical to your company's success or mission. And one way to gain visibility is to offer your talents, time, and abilities to challenging projects that are viable to the company's success. This is key. This way you will be working alongside key players within the company who can vouch for your work ethic and have influence over decisions to give you a raise, and they are committed to your results. They're committed to your success, that is. You want to also make sure next that you record your performance, track your achievements. You've heard me mention this in previous episodes when it comes to doing your resume and your profile, but you need to do this for your promotions and your salary requests, your salary increase requests, and your pay raise. Do not assume, make note of this, do not assume your boss will know what you've accomplished. They sometimes don't keep track. They need you to tell them. So keep a log of all your successes and your wins, no matter how big or how small. Keep a log, because over time, when you look at this log, you'll be able to determine what's most important, and you will have the evidence to make a significant case demonstrating your value to the company and why the firm is right by giving you an above average pay raise, because it was a good investment. This is the proof that you're telling them it makes it a good investment to give you a good pay raise. Four, you want to capitalize on a recent significant success. So think about it this way. If you've just completed a project that went well, now is the time to diplomatically brag about you and your team's success to your boss and other critical decision makers. You might as well strike while the iron's hot. If you don't promote yourself, no one will. This could be a good time after you've had that recent significant success to ask for a raise. It's a good opportunity. It might be the right time for you. Number 5, do your homework. See what your profession is worth in the marketplace. Using websites such as payscale.com, salary.com, and other specific industry websites in your field, acquire the information about your profession, about your industry. See if you are above average, below average, or at market rate for your skills and experiences, because this will help you know where to start your negotiation and start with your request and have the number in mind that you want. And if you're at or below what the market is paying and have significant successes under your belt, this could be a really strong case for you, warranting a massive pay raise based on your credentials and your achievements. Now, it's not your current employer's responsibility to make up for you being underpaid, but if you can justify that if you made a move in the market that you would be getting X amount based on your research of your skills and your knowledge, you'd be tempted by the marketplace and they will write you. So again, it all comes down to your research and your wins and showing your value. So that's the key here. Also, you want to tie your performance and your success, tie your raise to your performances and successes. So offer to lead a project, put your money where your mouth is, outline the parameters for success, and propose to tie a bonus or raise in you meeting those parameters. If your project is to streamline expenses or raise revenues, then proposing that you receive a piece of that financial success will pay for itself. And that's a way for you to get a raise. So again, tie your raise to performance and success of potential projects that you are looking to take on. Number 7, I want you to also look at other options besides money. Your company may be feeling a financial pressure. Money might genuinely be tight. So regardless of your performance, they may not be able to give you a financially compensated raise, a raise in form of money. So consider other forms of compensation to be flexible and still allow your company to reward your contributions. This may be in the form of time off or types of promotion, titles, whatnot, that you see that you'll get a value on down the line. And number 8, and in setting yourself up for the mindset of preparing to ask for a raise, I want you to ask yourself this one question. I want you to think, would you give yourself a raise? You want to be the person you would want to give a raise to. It's that simple. Do you make your boss's job easier? Do you make your boss look good? Do you bring value to the organization in the form of raising revenues, keeping and retaining clients, saving on expenses, contributing to the company culture as a motivator and a positive influence? Would you be excited to lobby for you? You want your manager to be excited to lobby for you to get a raise for you. Do you make it worth the risk for your boss to stand up for you and get you that raise? Well, if you can answer those questions positively, then you are going to have an advocate in the form of your boss to go get you a raise. You have to make it easy for them to get you the approval to get the raise. Number 9, you want to always strive to be a top 5 performer for your employer. If you are a top 5 performer in your organization, then the answers in the prior items questions would be yes, and it makes it easier to justify giving you a raise and lobbying to someone else to get you that raise. If you didn't receive the salary raise you were looking for the prior year, ask yourself the questions we asked in the last few items. You want to make sure that it's easy for somebody to lobby for you to get a raise. Make yourself worth the argument. And number 10, you can start to do that by investing in yourself and your professional development. When was the last time you furthered your own professional education or attended an industry event? You don't always have to wait for your company to pay for it for you. Now, I know sometimes they should because they're benefiting from it, but you should want to do it no matter what. So companies want to invest in people who invest in themselves, because if they see you investing in yourself and then creating an ROI on that investment, they will be more willing to put money into you and invest in you, knowing that they're going to get an ROI. They want to see someone with a track record of ROI on monies invested in them, whether it's your money or their money. So, and that's in the form of a raise or in the form of paying for more of this education. Again, it could be flexible. 11, so timing can be everything. You want to do your best to ask at the right time. Decisions for issuing raises are often well before review time or the fiscal year beginning. Decisions for issuing raises are typically done before the decision is issued, obviously, right? So asking for a raise, they were already thinking about it even before you asked. So you have to know that. So ask for a raise the quarter or two before, when raises are normally given out, to put yourself on the radar. I find that bad times to ask are, at the end of the year, at the very end of the year, because that's all been budgeted usually a month or two before. I find another bad time is to ask when poor financial information's been issued, or when other people's raises have already been announced. Sometimes that can be too late. Now, if you have a significant performance event happen, that, even despite the bad financial information, it still might be a good time to ask. So you have to look at what you're doing and what's going on with the company and balance that out to determine what's the right time for you to ask. Next, you want to ask your boss what you can do to get one next year. Say you didn't get the raise you were hoping for. Allow your boss to be very candid with you what you can do to improve your chances of landing the raise next year. Solicit specific feedback to projects you can handle and performance up to that point. Don't be defensive when receiving this information. It's meant to help you improve. And if they're telling you this information, they want you to improve. So this way you'll be able to land a higher salary bracket the following year. And lastly, as you're going about this process, be realistic and be grateful. I can tell you that no one wants to give a raise to someone who's asking for a 65% pay raise with no evidence supporting the bold request, or to someone who feels entitled to getting a raise simply because of seniority and they haven't presented the work that justifies the raise. These types of employees will never be happy, so employees don't want to invest their precious dollars in these types of people. Don't be one of these people. Stick to a 5 to 20% range. For most people, that works. But the key is to have your documentation and your research ready, especially if you justifiably are going for a higher number. Whether you get what you want or you don't, the key is to be gracious. Thank them for their time and consideration and be grateful, because they remember that. And this way it'll help with your plans for the next year, regardless of how the outcome comes. If you don't feel prepared to do all of these actions on your own confidently, but you have the achievements and you have the story to back it up in asking for a bold raise, then hire us for personal guidance. Let us train you on how to tactfully pull this off in an interview. Go to pretendyourfiredtoday.com/coaching and you can hire us to help you. This way you don't have to do it alone and you can maximize your performance in this pay raise discussion. So the coaching resource is pretendyourfiredtoday.com/coaching. In past episodes, we've talked about the only way to truly protect yourself from job loss is to pretend you're fired today and make a list of activities that you would do to start finding your next job. Doing proactive activities to keep yourself in demand when you don't need a job. This is the key element to the Pretend You're Fired Today action list. You want to keep your network primed and active. So this way you stay in the forefront of your network's mind and it creates demand for you consistently. We want you to be in demand when you need it. So you need to create the demand before you need it. This way, if your job situation changes unexpectedly, you already have pent up demand for what you do by doing these actions I show you here today. This is the key to remaining employable. You may not be able to stay at your job forever, but you can be employable and therefore remain employed with small gaps, no gaps in between employment as things happen unexpectedly. For the next few episodes of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast, we're going to continue to go through a list of tactics and activities to do now as if you were let go today to ensure you are always ready for whatever the world brings your way. The first item on the list was your resume, which we cover how to build in episodes 1 through 8. And the second item on the list was updating your LinkedIn profile, which we reviewed how to do that in episodes 9 through 12. And in the last almost 24 episodes, we've covered a myriad of topics, some of which were how to work with recruiters, how to handle the culture fit interview questions, that infamous overqualified question. We want to help you conquer your next interview or your next performance review. So you're going to want to revisit those episodes. You can use those episodes content in either a job search or within a performance review discussion. I'm so proud of you of taking these steps to make yourself more marketable when you don't quite need it right now. Most people wait and that unexpected job change happens and then bam, they're trying to learn all this information and they're scrambling. So kudos to you for learning it and doing it before you need it. This will help you stay employable and continuously employed. My friend saved me with her priceless advice, Pretend You're Fired Today. And I'm paying it forward with you. And I ask you to pay this sentiment forward. Share it with as many executives and rising professionals who you feel would benefit from this create the demand before you need it advice. It's so key to career longevity. Doing the preparation suggested in this episode will prepare you to interview confidently. And in our next episodes, we're going to shift gears a bit and we're going to discuss the ABCs of executive job security. We're going to move into career management so you can remain continuously employed and know what to do at your job to make that happen. In this tumultuous global economic climate that we are all in, it is imperative that you take care of yourself and you take proactive steps to ensure you can always land an executive role, especially when you're currently working. I mean, you want to maintain your lifestyle. You don't want any blips or hiccups no matter what's going on in the world. So you're going to want to tune in for the next episode and not miss that. And in the interim, if you want personalized coaching for a performance review that you have upcoming or an interview that you may have upcoming, you want to make sure that you hire us to help you. You can go to pretendyourfiretoday.com/coaching and we will help you get past these struggles that you may be having. So hire us to help you directly with your next interview or your next performance review to maximize your salary, maximize that pay raise. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Be well.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.